There's a new whistleblower on the autism forefront, and Dr. Brian Hooker from the Focus Autism Foundation says he has a source inside the CDC. Hooker utilized the Freedom of Information Act to ask for data about a recent autism study, and that's when he says the unnamed whistleblower broke down and reached out to him. The anonymous insider tells Hooker the CDC is purposely hiding important information about autism, particularly how vaccines affect young black boys at a much higher rate than others. Hooker says CDC researchers studied over 2,500 children from Atlanta, but they excluded over 40% of the people in the study because they didn't have a valid birth certificate. And since a birth certificate has absolutely nothing to do with a scientific study, it appears the CDC was purposely blocking black kids from the study to boost their numbers.
They already know. That's why they're out here doing what they do.
So we brothers of Islam, Nation of Islam, have come and they're like helping us with security, helping us look after, because there are many corporate entities.
These guys are also families of ours. Right. So they're here also to help. And I know that's exactly why they came, because they heard of the protest. Am I correct?
No doubt about it.
And guess what?
God brought them.
Oh, yes. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah. And guess what? And they're going to be vocal about it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we want.
Absolutely.
Right?
If every
What we do in Israelite in Christ is teach you God's laws. So by applying God's laws, it's going to change the mindset of the black and Hispanic man in the ghettos of America by teaching you your nationality and teach you now you got to keep God's laws. Because one big problem we've had for centuries is, for the last 80 years, is black people hate black people. We kill each other. The murder rate is off the charts. So let's take, if for instance we keep now thou shalt not kill. That's a law. If we all apply that, would that help the black community more than 3 million men marches? The answer is yes. Okay, thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not commit adultery. We don't commit adultery. We apply that law. Guess what? Maybe there wouldn't be as many STDs and AIDS running around the black community. So this is how we attack the problem of the black community over what the Nation of Islam does, which is they have men marches. If you look around, they're selling bean pies, and that's what they're doing. And they're talking about vaccinations. So we apply God's law. That's going to save the black and Hispanic people. Okay?
We're here today in this event because, according to this event, they call it a whistleblower about the vaccination of they're giving our kids, and it's causing autism. We decided to come at this camp today. IUIC decided to come at this camp today because the scriptures say you got to go to the byway and the highway. That we know that there was going to be our people here, so we come here to teach our people to repent. Because a lot of our people say, okay, why must I gotta let this happen? Why must I gotta let my kids have autism? Why is this? But what you don't understand is why. What is the purpose? Why? Because we break Most High God laws. That's why we're here today, to tell our people, to tell our brothers, to tell our sisters, our children, that if they don't repent, they're going to continue to see this thing happen in our community. That's why we're here today. All praise to Most High for that.
Who's the king?
Christ.
Who's the king?
Christ.
Who am I?
An Israelite.
Who am I?
An Israelite.
Who am I?
An Israelite.
Practice death note,
Honor, glory, redemption.
Hallelujah.
the vaccine division, and who was orchestrating this corruption. He is a criminal. And he committed
that damn Edomite. Y'all got everybody over here looking at y'all. We the Israelites.
he is guilty
The greatest thing to walk this planet Earth.
Who am I?
An Israelite.
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 Let them know that we was here.
And if he didn't do it, he ought to and join me for ever saying that. Because what I'm saying to you guarantees your career. So let's see what he got on Monday. Thank you all very much.
Right hand! Right hand! Down!
Let me say this.
Tupac command!
Say this. You know I'm Gerald, the pastor man.
Right hand! Who's the king? Hooray! Christ! Right hand!
So let us thank Mr. Louis Farrakhan. Let us thank Brother Tony Muhammad, Minnesota Muhammad.
Finally, my brother, be strong in the Lord.
And the power is mine.
His what?
His might.
His what?
His might.
His what?
His might.
His what?
His might.
Be called no more Jacob. So Jacob's name will no longer be called Jacob, but what? But Israel. Israel. So we are the sons and daughters of Israel. We're not black. We're not Haitian, Jamaican, Puerto Rican, Dominican. That's not our nationality because God never called us that in the Bible. That's why our people have a disconnect with the Bible because they don't see themselves in the Bible. They took your names and gave you names of their forefathers. Dominican means loyal dog of God. So wait a minute. Read what Israel means. Keep reading, bro. For as a prince hath thou power with God. Wait a minute. So Israel means prince of power with God. So we gave that up to be called loyal dogs of God? You gave up your God-given birthright, man. That's right. To take these little fiddles they call you. We are prince and princesses of the Most High God. That's right. Read it again. For as a prince has thou power with God and with men. And with who? And with men. Because the way we were created everybody else. At that time, everyone knew not to mess with the children of Israel. If you read the history, how many thousands we were put to death in war? Hundreds of thousands at a time. David killed 10,000 by himself. So nations wasn't ready to mess with us. But how far we've fallen. How far we've fallen when they now can gun our kids down in the street. Pump us full of vaccines. How far have we fallen? Ask me why we've fallen. We broke God's commandments. We're in the midst of sin. So because of that, God put these curses upon us, allowing them to do this. Now I'm going to prove it. Even though you didn't ask me to, I'm going to prove it anyway. Read what you got.
The book of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph.
To Joseph, which was Christ's father. Okay, read.
In a dream, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt.
Flee where?
Into Egypt.
Let me say this. If Jesus was a so-called white man, could he hide in Egypt?
No.
Has Egypt always been dark-skinned people? So if you take a white mother, a white father, and a white child and run into Egypt, would it be hard for the king to find you?
Bring it out.
No. So the difference wasn't complexion. Give me the one in Acts 21. Acts 21. Let me get that real quick. Acts 21. 37. Acts 21 and 37. Come on.
Acts chapter 21, verse 37.
Come on.
And as Paul was to be led into the council, he said unto the chief captain, may I speak unto thee? Who said, canst thou speak Greek?
So they asked Paul, can you speak Greek? Read.
Art not thou an Egyptian?
Wait a minute. So Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian. So could Paul be white? Because the Egyptians always been dark-skinned people. You agree? You agree? You agree? You agree? You agree? You agree, right? So how can an apostle of the Lord, a prophet of the Lord, be mistaken for an Egyptian? So what was his complexion? Read that.
Romans chapter 11, verse 1.
Listen to what Paul said.
I say then,
Has God cast away his people? So Paul said, has God done away with the Israelites? God forbid. Hell no. The Israelites are always going to be in the earth. Right. Jeremiah 31 and 30. For I also am an Israelite. What did Paul say? For I also am an Israelite. So Paul is an Israelite, but he was mistaken for an Egyptian. What color are the Israelites? Really? Gotta be the same color. Gotta be the same color. I like what you said. There's gotta be the same color. Read. Of the seed of Abraham. Of the seed of who? Of Abraham. Wait a minute. Remember, Abraham was Jacob's grandfather.
Oh, yeah. So.
You see that? So wait. So Paul said, I'm of the seed of Abraham, and I'm brown. So what about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? What color were they?
Brown.
Wait a minute. You know, you were never taught this. That's why all brothers hate each other and gun each other down in the street. Right. You don't see yourself as the greatest people on the planet. Right. That's the problem. That's what we're out here to fix. Our people must see the greatness that God created them in. Your skin is one of the most precious things God put on you. Right. Of the tribe of Benjamin. He was from the tribe of Benjamin. So Paul even knew his tribe. Yes. But no, today we're African American. We're what? Baptists. They say their nationality is Baptist. That's a denomination in church. How's that your nationality? What was your nationality before you heard you were Israelite? What'd you call yourself? Afro-American. Afro-American. What'd you call yourself, sis? What'd you call yourself, bro? Oh, everybody want to agree now, right? Black, right? Black. What'd you call yourself, sis? Puerto Rican. Sis, let me show you something. Right here. According to you know what Puerto Rican means?
Port of riches. Port of riches.
So are you a port of riches? Guess what? When Christopher Columbus landed in Hispaniola, the conquistadors went over to Puerto Rico, Borinquen. When he landed over there, what they said was, this is a rich place to gain our wealth to send back to Spain. That's right. He called the land of a rich port, meaning when their ships port, they were going to gain much riches from that land. You're not a rich land. Last time I checked, because I have many friends from Puerto Rico, their people are very impoverished. I can't say their people. Our people are very impoverished in the land of Puerto Rico. God called you Ephraim. Your forefathers are the head of the northern kingdom of Israel. Right. You have great position with the Most High God. That's right. So how do we become a port of riches? Give me Lamentations 4:1. How do we become this thing? Bring it up. Deuteronomy 28 verse 1. Let me show you something. Read. Lamentations chapter 4 verse 1. Come on. How is gold become dim? Wait a minute. How does gold become dim? Remember, God created you greater than everybody else on the planet. You are his precious gold. But how did that gold become dim now? Read. How is the most fine gold? You're the most fine gold. Remember, you're above everybody else. That's right. You are the most fine gold, sis. But you never knew that before today. Read. Changed. How's that precious gold now changed? How did you go from being a prince of power with the Most High God to African American? To go on being a port of riches? How did we get to that? Read. The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion. Right. It's not talking about actual gold. It's talking about the precious sons of Zion. That's you, the Israelites. You are the precious sons of Zion. You have become dim. You've changed your name. Not only was your name changed, but you've accepted it. You embodied it. You now walk as a proud African American. Africa comes from Leo Scipio Africanus. He was an Italian general during the Punic Wars. He defeated Hannibal. His name was Africanus, hence the name Africa. Bring it out. Amerigo Vespucci. We learned about him in school. Yeah. He was an Italian navigator, right? Oh, here it is right here. These are these two men right here. So if you're African American, can you come from these two white men? No. So why have we embodied this name? Why did we take it and walk with it as a badge of honor, with glory, as if it's something to be proud of? We learned this in slavery. That's right. You understand that? Let's get the prophecy on that. Isaiah 49. Finish that out. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine
gold.
What does God compare the precious sons of Zion?
To fine gold.
You are that fine gold. Right. Y'all understand that? That's what we out here to teach our people. You are the fine gold of the Most High God.
That's right.
You ain't niggas. Y'all ain't Spicks. Y'all ain't African American, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Haitian. That is not what God called you. He called you the precious sons and daughters of the Most High God.
That's right.
Read what you got. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. So how do we become dim? Let's see. Most High God told us to choose life or death. Right? In the chapter of Deuteronomy 28. Read.
And it came, and it shall come to pass.
It shall come to pass, meaning it's going to happen.
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So if you listen diligently unto God's words,
to observe,
that means to do them,
and to do all his commandments.
Do how many of his commandments?
All his commandments.
So we do all his commandments,
which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high.
So God is going to set you on high because we were created greater than everybody. Remember that? But that doesn't mean that's where we're going to be. You understand that? So for instance, you make okay, got you. Let's say you make a new phone, right? It's the best phone. You know it has all the best apps, all the best features. You know this, right? But you put it out in the market, it only sells 4 phones. You created it greater than all the others, but it didn't do so well. You understand? God made us greater than everybody else, but we were not put above everybody else. Read verse 15.
Verse 15.
Let's see the flip side. God said if we listen to all his commandments and do them, he's going to put us above everybody. You heard that, right? Bruh, you heard that? All right, read the flip side.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So the flip side is if you don't listen to his word and do what he said. Read.
To observe to do all his commandments.
Come on.
And his statutes which I command thee this day. That all these curses.
All what?
All these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So the flip side is, we know we were created greater than everybody else, right, sis? On one hand, if we do everything God says, we will be above everybody. The flip side, if we don't do what God says, we will have curses put upon us, right? So here's the thing: how do we know we're Israelites, right? Jump to verse 47.
Verse 47. Because thou servest
up to 45. Yeah.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses all these curses
give you these curses, right?
Shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed.
So the curses will be upon us until we're destroyed as a people. Come on.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So why is God repeating himself? These curses are on you because you didn't keep God's commandments. He's reminding you of why we're going through what we're going through. He's reminding us why our kids are getting vaccinated by the heathen. He's reminding us why our sons get shot down in the street. Why we have mass incarceration. He's reminding us. Continue to read.
To keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
So the curses are going to be upon the Israelites for a sign. Because guess what? How do we know this is Grandpa? There are signs posted, right? So you know this is Grandpa, right? The curses are a sign to show who the Israelites are today.
That's right.
Understand that? So we're going to prove it to you. Jump to verse 68. Hold that, give me Exodus 22.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord thy God and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
I want you to focus on ships. Ships. Now, we heard Egypt. That's a little confusing. Let me show you something, sis.
Yes.
To go into Egypt, you don't need a ship. We walked into Egypt. And with Moses in the Exodus, we walked out. So why did God say we're going to go into Egypt on ships? You know, a little confusing. Read what you got.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
What's another name for bondage? Slavery. That's the $1 million answer right there. So God says, we're going to bring you in, I'm going to bring you into slavery by way of ships. Understand? How do we get to this side of the world? How? Everybody agrees, right? Your forefathers were actually put on ships to stay. Did you know that?
My dad is Judah.
Oh, your dad is Judah? Okay. Because you said 40. I apologize. All praise to the Most High. But guess what? Your mom is Ephraim, right? Your mom is actually a part of the 12 tribes of Israel as well. So this good news could go into her as well. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
So Moses, by the way I'm telling you this, is going to happen this way. Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
The it is, where's the motherland? Where? Jerusalem, Israel. We will never see it again. Because before today, you didn't know Jerusalem was the motherland.
No, I thought it was Africa.
We never went back to Jerusalem as a people, you understand?
That's right. And there, when you get off those ships, there, ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Wait a minute. Wait, whoa, look at the brother's face. All praise to the Most High. But guess what? When we got off those ships, here in America, in Brazil, in Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, in where else? Portugal, wherever we were shipped, were we sold or did we walk around and start being tourists? We were sold, right? Did you read?
Unto your enemies, for bondmen,
for slave men,
and bondwomen.
Read.
And no man shall buy you.
The buy you part is defined in verse 29. It means no man shall save you. Which means Malcolm X tried. Did he save us? Martin Luther King tried. Did he save us? Sojourner Truth. Medgar Evers. Marcus Garvey. Yeah, Marcus Garvey. They all tried, right? They couldn't save us. You understand that, bro? So, what did we just prove? The Israelites went into slavery on ships. When they got off those ships, they were never going to see their homeland again. They were going to go into slavery. It's going to be sold as slave men and slave women. You all agree so far? Jump to verse 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So now, in those lands, you're going to serve your enemies. We were cutting sugar cane. We were picking cotton, tobacco, every commodity to make this place rich. We had to sweat and die for it. But we got no benefits of it, right? So in that land, you're going to serve your enemies. Read.
Which your Lord shall send against thee.
Who sent them against us?
The Lord shall send against thee.
Guess what? We hear slavery, we automatically think, oh yeah, it's something bad that happened, right? But guess what? Just think about the pure schematics of it. They love the big bucks, big brothers, big buxom brothers to work the fields, right? So a ship of 300 big bucks was subdued by 10 small little white guys. Is that physically possible?
I don't even understand that.
You don't understand that? You know why you don't understand it? Read that part again.
Thou shalt serve the Lord.
It's no power of your own. It's no power of them.
That's
what
right.
the Most High God set in place.
That's right.
You understand that? Why you couldn't understand it? Because you didn't know God prophesied this to Moses 3,000 years ago.
That's right.
What they teach you is clap your hands and dance, sing a song. You know every gospel song on the planet. But you didn't know this out of the Bible? Read.
Shall sin against thee in hunger.
So in hunger, when you want to go shopping at Publix, Kroger, Walmart, who owns that? It's not our people. So when you're hungry, you got to go to them, right? Read.
And in thirst.
When you're thirsty, who owns the water plants? Not us. Who owns the sign? Poland Spring, Deer Park. Not us. So the Lord says, you're going to have to go to them for that. Read. And in nakedness. And in nakedness. So your clothing, you must go to them for your clothing. I used to say, oh, nah, I went to the swap meet. Or I went to, you know what I'm saying? To a black-owned store. Guess what? It may say Sean John, but Sean John doesn't own silkworms.
That's right.
He doesn't own the cotton fields. He doesn't own the woolen. He doesn't own those things. So the textiles come from those people that you have to serve.
That's right.
You understand that? Read. And in one of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 37. And they shall fall one upon another, as it were before a sword, when none pursueth, and ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies.
So why were they able to subdue 300 bucks? Because the Lord took away all your powers. He wanted them shaken.
That's right.
Verse 38, and ye shall perish among the heathen.
So whatever land they dropped you off on those slave ships, you're gonna be put to death in those lands.
And the land of your enemies shall eat you up.
So we died in those lands. In Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, we perished in those lands. Columbus went to Dominican Republic and killed 36 million Native Indians. 6 million. He started enslaving on his first day. His first day there, he put you in slavery. All right, read.
Verse 36, and upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts.
So how did God allow these people to put us in slavery? He sent faintness into your heart.
That's right.
Just like now, when you're driving and you see a cop car behind you, knowing you ain't doing nothing, your heart start racing. You start looking for your license. You doing this. You ain't even doing anything.
That's right.
You see, that faintness is still here. And they make sure gunning your kids down in the streets keep you that way. Y'all think it's an accident? Guns go by accident? They must keep themselves in supremacy and you on the bottom.
That's right.
Read.
In the lands of their enemies.
In the land of your enemies. Because were you brought here in friendship? Were your forefathers brought here in friendship? Did they say, hey, I'm going to give you a buddy pass. Come over to America. Nah, they didn't say that. They put you on ships. They stacked you on another. Feces came down on your head. Sores. You had women's menstrues on top of your head. People gave birth on those ships. All kinds of infectious diseases went on during that time. So those weren't your friends. Read.
And the sound of a shaken leaf.
And the sound of a shaken leaf. Remember when you try to get off the plantation? You be creeping, and the wind blow a leaf?
You think it's massive?
You swear it's massive. Meanwhile, you already 100 miles away from the plantation. You've been running all night. But even a shaking leaf got you scared. That's the fear the Most High God put in us. So that they could subdue us. So it's all the workings of the Lord. Finish that out.
And the sound of a shaken leaf.
The sound of a shaking leaf.
Shall chase them.
Wait a minute. So right now, even today, like I said, when you get an inkling there's a cop coming, you and your boy standing here, right? Here come a cop. Hey bro, you ain't got nothing on you, right? You start asking everybody questions. Hey bro, you good? You good? You good? Because they instilled that fear in us. And that was done through the Most High God. Give me Hosea 5:15. Hosea 5:15. And you give me Psalm 119 and 165. Yeah. This is my last scripture. Go ahead. You want to ask the next officer coming, right, sis?
Hosea chapter 5, verse 15.
Come on.
I will go and return to my place.
So God said he's going to return to his place, turn his face from us. Meaning he's not with us anymore. He's against us. Read.
Till they acknowledge their offense.
Until you acknowledge your offense. We have to acknowledge that we're in the midst of sin. We have to acknowledge that we're in the midst of evil. We must acknowledge that. So when our sons get gunned down, when they're doped up with vaccines, the Most High God said that's going to continue to happen because you have not acknowledged that you sinned against him. You understand that, sis? You understand that, bro? That was it?
And seek my face.
And do what?
And seek my face.
So these things are going to continue to happen to us until we truly seek the Lord. It's going to continue to happen. We ain't seen the last Trayvon. We ain't seen the last Mike Brown. Hell no. Eric Gray, they broke damn near every bone in his body. That ain't the last time we're going to see that. So why are we so shocked and astonished every time this happens? They dope up our kids. Why are we shocked? You forgot the Tuskegee experiment? Doping up our men with syphilis.
And just John Hopkins.
John Hopkins. You understand? This has been happening forever. So why are we astonished now? Why? Because we started mixing with them and agreeing with them. So now we look at them as they're our friends now. How can they do this to us? They've never been our friends.
That's right.
Look, what you got?
Psalms chapter 119, verse 165. Great peace have they which love thy law.
Wait a minute. You will never see peace until you learn to love the laws of God. You understand that?
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel, Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.